Imagine the power goes out in the US or in Europe, not for 12 hours like it did in Portugal and Spain yesterday, but for a week, 2 weeks, 30 days. Well, guess what? You don't have to imagine it because the Pentagon already simulated it over 1,000 times. And the average of their simulation was that within 30 days, 94% of the population would be dead. Why? Because within 24 hours, you're out of food and water. So you go to the stores. Guess what? Almost all the food is spoiling because the refrigerator's been off. And on top of that, whatever's left is already gone. You can't pay with card because your cards don't work. You can't leave because every fucking street light doesn't work. Everyone's out of gas and none of the gas pumps work. Guess what else happens within a week? Not only is everyone out of food and water, now people are coming door to door with fucking guns, robbing you of your food and water so they could feed their family. Your really nice neighbor, he ain't so fucking nice anymore. Within 2 weeks, people have starved or died or killed themselves. Within 3 weeks or 4 weeks, 94% of people are dead.
Today I'm wearing my favorite outfit of all time, which I'm probably going to wear every day now while the weather here in London is hot, because I can wear short sleeves finally. This is my Dickies way too big work shirt, because I normally wear a medium, but this is an extra large because it's got to be too big. And I call this my Mexican Cholo look, because back in the 90s, first time I ever went to LA, this is what all the Mexican Cholos wore on the street corners. All these gangsters that would stand on the street corners. You had to have a Dickies shirt or white wife beater if it was too hot for the Dickies shirt, and had to be too big as well. And I suppose it's like the Mexican Cholos back in the day would have been the equivalent of the ICE deportees today. Except, well, you know, they were gangsters, right? So this is like my ICE deportee look, except for one major difference, which I think they weren't eligible to be deported because they were Americans. That was before they opened the floodgates. So, yeah, the gangsters back then were homegrown, I believe. I think they were. They were at least landed immigrants. So, yeah. Do you like it, though? And when I arrived in LA in the 90s, I was really vibing with the Mexican Cholos, like aesthetically, but I was a bit scared of them because they were gangsters. But I was brought up around Chinese gangsters, right? So I connected with them on that level. You know, like triads. There was a different type of gang. They weren't street gangs, but like business gangs. And they'd come around our house, play mahjong with my mum, and swear and cuss. Taught me all my swear words as a kid. All that kind of stuff. So I owe it all to them. But yeah, I've always been down with gangsters, so I feel I have a right to appropriate the Mexican Cholo look. And also, Mexicans and Chinese, we're the same. Do you know what I mean? Where am I going? Oh yeah, this way. Yeah. If you take a Chinese dude and grow him a goatee and shave his head, he's Mexican. But don't worry, this isn't one of those what I wore today videos. I'm not the sort of person who'll make a whole ass video about what I'm wearing today, just so you can admire the fact that I spent my money buying an outfit that the fashion press told me to buy this week or this month. No, if I talk about what I'm wearing, it's got a cultural significance and a historical significance. I just noticed myself saying a whole ass video. I picked that up from Americans on social media. Why do you stick ass in the middle of your expressions? I suppose it's a bit like how we Cantonese stick lun in the middle of everything. Lun meaning dick, like what are you doing? What the dick are you doing? So that's the equivalent of the American ass. But yeah, no, I would never make a whole ass video about what I'm wearing unless... No, that was just the introduction to my video. But what I'm going to talk to you about today is something much more important and newsworthy. But what could be more newsworthy than what I'm wearing? That's what my followers want to know, I suppose some people would say. But you guys want to hear more than just that, don't you? So, yeah, today I want to talk to you about what happened in Spain and Portugal, the power grid failure, and what's going on? What's the bigger picture with that? Because we've been hearing for some time conspiracies from mostly from the right about the fact that they're going to be creating, they meaning our elite overlords, are going to be creating these catastrophes. And you might remember seeing I can't even name his name. I can't mention his name because we're not allowed to talk about this stuff. I've noticed from my previous videos that they get muted when I talk about this. So a certain comic book villain who said, "The next pandemic will be a cyber attack. It will destroy everything. We will have nothing and we will be happy." You know who that is, don't you? I'm not allowed to say his name because I've been punished in the past for it. But this gave rise to a whole bunch of...
Platform 1 for the 1739 Mildmay line service to Richmond. Calling at Brondesbury Park, Kensal Rise, Willesden Junction, Acton Central, South Acton, Gunnersbury, Kew Gardens and Richmond.
This gave rise to a whole bunch of conspiracies about whether they're going to try and pull this off to put us into another, I guess it will be like a lockdown, right? And there's a lot of hysteria about it right now, obviously. That's been rekindled by what happened in Spain and Portugal. So I'm going to play you a clip, one of these clips now.
Today, we are one step closer to a global catastrophe. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine the power goes out in the US or in Europe, not for 12 hours like it did in Portugal and Spain yesterday, but for a week, 2 weeks, 30 days. Well, guess what? You don't have to imagine it because the Pentagon already simulated it over 1,000 times. And the average of their simulation was that within 30 days, 94% of the population would be dead. Why? Because within 24 hours, you're out of food and water. So you go to the stores. Guess what? Almost all the food is spoiling because the refrigerator's been off. And on top of that, whatever's left is already gone. You can't pay with card because your cards don't work. You can't leave because every fucking street light doesn't work. Everyone's out of gas and none of the gas pumps work. Guess what else happens within a week? Not only is everyone out of food and water, now people are coming door to door with fucking guns, robbing you of your food and water so they could feed their family. Your really nice neighbor, he ain't so fucking nice anymore. Within 2 weeks, people have starved or died or killed themselves. Within 3 weeks or 4 weeks, 94% of people are dead. Those who survived are on some fucking isolated farm or something far away from everyone. And by the way, these psychopaths that you see fucking implementing these power outages, you think it's an accident? You think it's only happening in Europe? You don't think it's a little fucking test run? Let me remind you of something. Remember 2020, 2021? Hey guys, it's only going to be 2 weeks. Stay at your house. 2 weeks turned into 2 years. Remember that? So 12-hour power outage, what do you think that's going to turn out into, huh? These people are fucking psychos. And we need to share this so people are prepared, because here's what I'll tell you. We know where they live. You know where the government people live. You know where the head of these people live. Great. So when the power goes out, we know where we're fucking going.
So what do you think about that? Was Spain just a practice run? And is this coming to the US soon? Or the entire West? I mean, a lot of conspiracy theorists have been saying for ages now, years, that we're going to have a grid failure and this is how they're going to bring about the reset and the new digital currency, collapse all of our banks and blame it on the grid failure.
This is a mild main
I don't
line
know,
train to
but
Richmond.
what doesn't help is that our leaders have been telling us to prepare for something like this for ages. I mean, you saw my impersonation earlier on, right? That's just one. But I remember Boris Johnson, our ex-UK Prime Minister, he told us to prepare with 2 weeks worth of emergency rations. And the French were told recently to have 3 days worth of emergency rations. I mean, I've been prepared for this for years. Since 2021, I've had a cupboard full of tins and water and instant noodles and all that kind of stuff, like non-perishable stuff, waiting for this collapse. And it's just not come. And I've had to start eating this stuff. I've had to start eating food that I don't really want to eat. But the expiry date has approached. I also got a whole load of candles, and everyone's been taking the piss out of me for it. But maybe now they're seeing that I'm a smart one. When everything fails, they'll all be coming to me for their instant noodles and their tin spaghetti and peaches and pears, and I've got everything. Oh my God, I don't want everyone to know. But yeah, I'm prepared. But yeah, I've been prepared for years. And are you? Are you prepared? Are you gonna get prepared now? And I would say the most important thing, if nothing else, is to have water. Because if we have a grid failure, like a serious grid failure, there will be no water coming out of your taps. Because we can go for a surprisingly long time without food, but we need water or liquid hydration. But anyway, back to the causes. So I've covered some of the more so-called conspiratorial angle on this, that this is something that our overlords will do deliberately. But there's another level of conspiracy which says that they actually have no control and they're just pretending that they do, and they're pretending that they have the power to do this kind of stuff, but actually it's the sun. So we're presently in solar cycle 25. These are 11-month cycles of the sun, and it peaks in July 25. And this peak involves increased magnetism and solar flares, or coronal ejections they're called, plasma shooting from the sun. And this can wipe out power grids, satellites, and just have devastating consequences on the planet. So there is it's like a higher level of conspiracy that says these things are totally beyond our control, and our overlords just want us to think that they are in control so that we continue respecting them, but they're not. What do you think about that? But one interesting aspect of this is that some of the spiritual gurus or influencers, they're not really gurus, some of the spiritual, I suppose they could be, you could call them spiritual conspiracy theorists, are saying, and they've been predicting that this is going to happen for some time, but a lot of them have been saying that this summer is going to be the biggie. Sorry to alarm you.
Next stop is Acton Central.
But yeah, some of them are saying that when it happens, we will be better off, because it's going to take away all of these, all of our superficial concerns, and it's going to put an end to all of our petty squabbling and bring us together as a human race when we're no longer on social media arguing over identity politics and all this bullshit, because we won't be able to. We'll just be fighting for survival. So we will lose everything. The entire matrix will collapse and we will be reborn. It's funny that, isn't it? It kind of aligns with you will have nothing and you will be happy. It's just a different way of framing it, isn't it? Well, not really. They're planning to take everything away from us so that they can have it, aren't they? It's not quite the same. But still, there's a parallel there, isn't it? Interesting parallel. But what do you think? Have you been following these conspiracies? And if so, is there something I've left out? Let me know in the comments. And if you think I'm talking total and utter bollocks, let me know as well. And do please give this video a like. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel and please hit that bell for notifications. Every like, share, comment, engagement makes a big difference to my performance as a new YouTuber, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.